In my video series, The God Distraction, I refer to myself as an apatheist. The subtitle of that series is, I don't care if God exists, and neither should you. The reasoning is that even if God exists, we have no way to know anything about God's existence, will, or character, making God entirely irrelevant to our lives. When I talk about such knowledge, particularly in relation to God, I'm talking about the kind of repeatable, demonstrable, actionable knowledge which is really the only meaningful knowledge any of us ever acquires in terms of making a difference in our lives. It's the kind of knowledge you can rely on and use to make decisions, set a course for your life, solve problems, and understand the nature of existence. Systemically, such knowledge of God is impossible because God is a supernatural being, living in a supernatural realm where all things are possible, or at least as likely as anything else. Causal predictability has no hold on that world. In our world, by contrast, if you do X, predictably Y happens. This can't be so in a realm where all things are possible. But causation is how we know anything about our current environment. Once understood, the predictable causal laws of physics apply throughout the entire universe. If or when we discover they don't, we know we've gotten something wrong and need to go back to the drawing board. Almost every bit of repeatable, demonstrable, actionable knowledge we have has been obtained via observation and measurement of the causal expression of natural phenomena, experimenting with the possible and one by one ruling out various possibilities until we're left with only the extremely probable. This process is called falsification. And even when we've ruled out other possibilities, such knowledge is still tenuous and contingent, always open to revision should some new information come to light. But that knowledge is reliable enough to take action, knowing with a good degree of certainty that the knowledge is predictable, reliable, and repeatable. If we do X, we can rest assured that Y will happen. There is no such reliable, demonstrable, repeatable knowledge of God. When all things are possible, nothing can be ruled out or falsified. Every possibility is as likely as any other, no matter how seemingly absurd, which is why religious apologists can be so effective. When things don't add up in science, we question the current theory and try to understand the prior theory in light of this new information. Sometimes that includes ditching a prior theory altogether. When things don't add up for the religious, they can simply come up with another explanation because with God, all things are possible. That works because believers have been taught to accept the idea that God can do anything. His ways are not our ways. So if things seem unfair or out of whack or irrational or even outright evil to us, the religious can imagine that there is simply some possibility we can't grasp or understand, the knowledge of which will eventually make all things right. God works in mysterious ways, which is why faith is required. Faith encourages people to believe that there is an explanation which may not be forthcoming in the here and now. Religious apologists, however, attempt to offer explanations we can comprehend in this life, explanations which hint at or reveal an understanding previously hidden from us. For the religious, who simply need something, anything to hang on to, these explanations are comforting and sufficient. To the rest of us, they are often horrific. Calling the murder of hundreds or thousands of babies an infinite good is one such example. But this is exactly what Christian apologists have argued regarding the supposed Israelite genocide and conquest of Canaan, where God tells his people to leave alive nothing that breathes. The explanation offered is that babies and toddlers go directly to heaven. So instead of leaving them to be raised by the evil people in Canaan, who would surely have doomed them to eternal damnation, they were saved instead. That is the infinite good. Though you will not find Christians committing infanticide in order to secure a place in the hereafter for their own children. Of course, our lack of knowledge regarding the existence of this hereafter and the certain admission of babies means this explanation is lacking any and all substance. It is pure conjecture based on nothing known. This is a problem. But the bigger problem is that such thinking completely demolishes the idea that there can be an objective morality based on divine command theory. And that's what we'll talk about next time. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, thanks again for watching. As many of you know, I am often late to the game. But when I finally take the field, I'm the first person to make sure it's properly fertilized, even if I have to fertilize it myself. In that vein, I have to confess, I completely missed out on the whole essential oils thing. And by missed out, I'm referring to capitalizing and monetizing, in essence, profiting. The Johns Hopkins Medicine website says that essential oils don't work for everyone, but there's no harm in trying them as long as you use them in a safe way. And I might add, so long as you're not one of those people who've had a severe toxic reaction causing welts, blisters, swollen eyes, etc. Hopkins says even if they just boost your mood, it can make a positive impact on your health and well-being. Of course, I'm concerned first and foremost about the well-being of you, my audience, which is why I'm announcing my latest venture, doTERRA Non-Essential Oils. This is not yet a reality. I'll need your support to make it happen, but I can't imagine anyone standing on the sidelines when an idea like this can possibly, however unlikely, change the lives of millions of people. Non-essential oils are oils that all of us could benefit from, but are yet in the hands of the few. For instance, it's a known fact that pheromones can impact the behavior of individuals receiving them, making some people more successful in a given field than others. We want to make something similar available to anyone who wants to pay an excessive amount of money to acquire such a thing. We're contracting with some of the most beautiful people on the planet, Hollywood stars, models, singers, fitness gurus, etc., to acquire their workout clothes, including headbands, socks, underwear, etc., and harvesting the pheromone-rich sweat, which makes these folks so attractive to the opposite sex. We believe, despite a complete lack of evidence, that this will make you and yours more attractive and sexually desirable. Likewise, I've suffered throughout my life with extremely oily skin. But that oily skin has been the source of my youthful appearance, keeping me from the wrinkles that naturally come with aging. When people find out that I'm actually 93 years old, they are shocked and instantly want to know my secret. Before doTERRA, I had no way to pass that on. Now I'm taking something which has been a huge negative in my life and turning it into something positive that can help others, all while expanding my sense of purpose and pocketbook. In order to make this happen, I'll need you to go to my Patreon page and become a patron of these shows. On top of helping me launch this new venture, you'll get insightful, humorous content in video form at least 4 to 5 times a month, as well as all kinds of other benefits which are neither specified nor likely. You are not going to want to miss out on this amazing opportunity, even if it never happens. And to all of you who've already helped out, thank you, 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 thank you. And I'll leave you all with our new doTERRA tagline. I thought of this one myself. doTERRA Non-Essential Oils. They're in no way essential until they're not. I'll see you next week.